Hey friends. Um I I spent some time at the piano today. And this thing kind of happens to me when I have this sense that when I go away from the instrument for a while. And the irony is, when I was in Houston, I was playing a keyboard every single day for hours. But as far as practicing piano, the way that I practice and the way that I work with Madeline and the way that classical music is practiced, it felt like I wasn't doing hardly any. I was just touching base here and there. But I did have these lessons periodically that I was talking about this with a dear friend this morning, how we were talking about something in her case, but I was referring it or felt like there was a mirror in my own process as well, where I feel like those lessons that I did, every 2 weeks, really probably less than that overall, probably 3 in the entire time I was there, maybe 4. They were like, they dragged me. They created a momentum. They created like a tug into this world of awareness. And I swear, each of those lessons was so powerful in giving me access to that part of myself and that part of the self that really connects with music on that deepest level. And the result of that is I show up at home and now I've got my beautiful piano back. I've got a little, I'm managing to keep my days pretty slam full, but I'm blocking out time for the piano. I'm just making sure that I come back to the instrument because it's the center of so many things. And all of a sudden I've got like infinite energy. Like the way I practiced today, it was like a deep, deep meditation, and I just didn't want to stop. I could have gone for even far longer. And the thing that the newest thing, or the thing that felt new about the session today, and what I felt like I was kind of learning, it's bizarre sometimes. Like my hands, it's like they discover a technique that they've maybe never known, or maybe have known, but like in a different lifetime. Because there's an elevation that I was discovering today, a kind of weightlessness to the hands, and I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense. I watch Madeline's hands, and I watch concert pianists' hands, and I hear these instructions to elevate on certain notes and to extend and to release. And it's so funny to me how I can get all that instruction and do those things, and still there's like an essence underneath it that I'm not getting. And then all of a sudden that essence comes through, and it's like, oh, that's what all that instruction meant. That's what all that instruction was pointing to. But it's like the instruction doesn't get you there. It doesn't actually get me there. Only the experience gets me there. So it's kind of like, I mean, following good instruction is certainly what has put me on the path to the discovery and to the experience. But it's like there's this great quote by Sadhguru where he says, when he said something like, he's talking about the mind and the mind's relationship to spirit. And this is a parallel, I promise, this is not off topic. This is a parallel to the relationship I'm drawing between piano instruction and experience. He says, when you're picking your nose, if your nose is clogged up and you put your finger in your nose to unclog your nose, can your finger breathe? No. Your finger can't breathe. Your finger is just the tool you're using to try and unclog the part of you that can breathe. In the same way, the mind can't know. The part of us, this is where, actually I probably should have led with this. This is the thing Sadhguru was saying. He said, the part of us that's asking the question can never know, can never truly understand, can never experience life, the essence of life. That doesn't mean, in other words, the mind is what's asking questions, and the mind thinks that by asking questions it's getting somewhere, but it's not actually getting to the experience. It's just like a finger poking at the nose, and because it's another dimension of our being, it's another level of our existence that actually has that experience. And I had a little bit of that sense today, like the instruction I've received, it's amazing because it's important. If I hadn't gotten the instruction that I got, I wouldn't have been doing the things that I'm doing. I wouldn't have even been attempting what I was attempting. Like then I started having the experience of what it was supposed to feel like and what it was supposed to really be there's a whole kind of pan-physiological experience. And I was like, oh, that's not what I thought I understood when I got the instruction. Like that's not the thing that when Madeline like gave me the tip about whatever, like elevating my wrist or whatever it is, releasing on the note. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. I didn't get it. I had no idea. And it's funny to watch myself arrive at the experience and go, oh, now I see what what it was that she was getting at, and that it's hilarious that my mind thought that it knew what this was about, because it's like so vastly more. And again, I'm sort of installing this in a similar way to what I think I was saying yesterday about even though the mind can't really know anything, even though the mind can know stuff, but it can't experience. The mind is not where spiritual experience takes place. But sometimes little tricks in the mind are good. They're ways of dislodging They're ways of the mind kind of briefly getting tricked out of into letting go. I mean, I think that's like the purpose of Zen, of the Zen Koan. It's not that those things are meant to be ruminated on until the answer is figured out. They're meant to, and they don't always work, but they're meant to trip the mind so that the mind kind of stumbles or briefly like gets a kind of like what, and like lose and gap, and in that gap another experience can happen. They're meant to dislodge the mind. They're not meant to be understood. And in some way, like all of life is a Zen koan. all instruction, all mind stuff. In the context of spiritual practice, all mind content might as well be a Zen koan. We're trying to use the mind to release the mind, or give the mind a bone, like giving a dog a bone so that it thinks it has what it needs, and maybe it lets down its guard for a minute. But that's certainly what I felt today. I felt like, wow, like this was I was just in a whole, I suddenly had the experience of like, oh, I see what the friction is here. I see what it means to elevate. I see what it means to put little resting points. Oh, you mean on a resting point? In the phrase, I actually have to release. Oh. Which I would have probably said that I understood for, all this time. So I'm just having a lot of fun with kind of what happened today, and how I I hadn't been at the instrument for a while, so I really kind of gave it some love, and I was able to unlock some new experiences. And anytime that happens, it also puts me into a place where I'm like, wait, what else don't I get? What other instructions am I following that are that I don't truly understand, that I don't truly, where I think it's one thing, but actually there's a world waiting right behind the surface. So it's a fun place to be. It's a fun place to be because it means I become more sensitized to possibilities, as opposed to thinking that I know. Yeah, even piano instruction is like a Zen koan. It's a thing for the mind and the body to grab hold of until illumination can get in and really show us what's up. So it's fun day. Look forward to maybe playing some more piano tomorrow. Been a while. Anyway, folks, thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Love you. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.